Tension is rising at Chelsea FC as a shocking moment in training has left fans stunned. In what appears to be a dramatic internal decision, Enzo Fernandez has reportedly been stripped of his vice-captaincy role during a heated session at Cobham. The scene captured shows Enzo in a serious exchange with a member of the coaching staff, as he hands over what looks like a captain's armband or symbolic item. The mood intense, focused, and possibly emotional. This unexpected move raises big questions. Has there been a fallout behind the scenes? Is this a tactical decision, or something deeper involving discipline or dressing room dynamics? Under the leadership of Reece James as captain, Chelsea has been trying to rebuild structure and identity. Enzo, a key figure since his arrival, has often been seen as a leader on the pitch. So why now? Fans are already reacting across social media, with many expressing shock, concern, and curiosity. Some believe it could be a temporary decision to shake things up, while others fear it signals deeper unrest within the squad. Meanwhile, other players in the background appear.
Is that your decision, the club's decision, or is it a case of some of the players saying, actually, we're not comfortable with this? And he's been your captain the last few games.
No, Enzo, firstly, as a character, as a person, as a player, I have the utmost respect for Enzo Fernandez. What he's achieved in his career, the player that he is. He's frustrated because he wanted Chelsea Football Club to be successful this year. He still wants that, and we still can be. In terms of the decision, I've said this from day one, it's not all about just me. It's not all about the sporting directors or the ownership or the players. We are aligned in every decision that we make. So it was a joint decision. And saying that the door is not closed on Enzo, that's very important. It's a sanction. You have to protect, especially this football club. This is a winning football club with traditions of success. You have to protect that culture. And I think in terms of that, the line was crossed in the international break.
As far as you're concerned, when you had that conversation with him, is he happy here? Do you get the sense he is here for the long term, or is he looking for that escape to Madrid?
I can't speak for him. What I do know is when he's been on the pitch, even at Everton, when we lost the game, really disappointing performance. There was no lack of commitment in his performance. There was no lack of wanting the club to do well. In terms of speaking for him or what he wants in his future, that's not for me to speak about. I want to focus on a massive game tomorrow, where if we win, we can make an FA Cup semi-final, and I want to focus on us still making the Champions League, which is a big possibility. Again, fantastic conversation with Mark yesterday, half an hour in my office. The disappointing thing for me, what we're trying to create here in my time, I've only been here for coming up to 3 months. I can't speak. I'm enjoying it, even the difficult moments. I want players, I've said to them from day one, if they've got any issue with how we do things, to come and speak to me and speak to the sporting directors. My disappointment in Mark's interview is where it went to. I think he should have spoken to us first about the things that he's feeling. I want players to feel like they can speak openly and honestly for the benefit of the football club. And those conversations we've had with Reece James, that's why Reece has signed a new contract, because he believes in where we're going. And as a football club, we know we need to improve, myself included, and we actually know what we're going to do in the summer to achieve those objectives.
Just finally on that, why do you think that Mark doesn't feel that he can speak to you or one of your maybe many sporting directors? Do you think that he's just unaware of where the kind of power lies within all of this? Everybody
knows Mark Cucurella, knows his character. He's a great character. He's passionate. He wants to do well. I think for him, he did an interview, a long interview, where he spoke with passion and he spoke his mind. Yesterday, while I was in the office with him for half an hour, was to remind him, you can come and speak to me. You can be honest with me, and you can be honest with the club about what you want. But that takes time. I've been here for 2.5 months. We've played 20 games. So to build those relationships and those connections takes time. But Mark is fully committed. He wants to be here. He's made that very, very clear to me. And he actually believes in where we're moving forward. I spoke with Enzo an hour ago. As a football club, with me as part of that process, we've made a decision. He won't be available for tomorrow's game, and he won't be available for Manchester City next Sunday. I think for Enzo, it's disappointing to speak in that way. What I will say about Enzo is, in terms of him as a character, as a person, I've got no bad words to say about him, but I think a line was crossed in terms of our culture and what we want to build. So we have
the press conference talking about the game and previewing the weekend, but the last 48 hours have been dominated by what's happened in Benfica regarding Real Madrid and also Vinicius Junior. In your career, you've spent a great deal of time speaking in depth about the importance of speaking up and speaking out against racism in the game. So how did you feel watching those events on Tuesday, and what did you make of them?
It's upsetting. It's upsetting when anyone and there's context that needs to be had in terms of this situation. Always there has to be context to it. What I will say, you can see any form of racism in society, let alone football, is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. I cannot speak about an incident where an investigation is ongoing. I won't speak about that incident. What I would say is when you see a player upset, how Vinicius Junior was upset, normally they're upset for a reason. I've been racially abused myself. I know people have been racially abused. And what people have to understand is when you are judged for something that you should be proud of, it is the worst feeling you can ever possibly imagine. There are historical things to racism. I need to, as manager of this unbelievable football club, make my statement on it. If any player or any coach or any manager is ever found guilty of racism, they shouldn't be in the game. Shouldn't be in the game. It's as simple as that for me. But what I will not do categorically is talk about one incident when there's an ongoing investigation.
Yeah, I appreciate that, but there's been a fallout since the event itself, and Jose Mourinho is somebody seeped into the history of this football club, the football club that you represent. He seemed to give the impression that Vinicius Junior was provoked that situation himself. As manager to manager, what did you make of his comments and the way that Benfica have handled this situation?
I don't think it's manager to manager, to be honest. And again, it's context. What I would say is regardless how a player celebrates, race should never come into it. That is an ongoing investigation. What I'm not going to do, I don't know the context of the situation. I don't know the context of in which Jose said what he said, and I won't make a judgment on it. It's the same thing. I won't make a judgment until you get the facts. It's difficult for me to make a judgment. But what I will say is if any player or any coach is ever found guilty of racism, he shouldn't be in the game. And it's as simple as that.
Yeah, there were discrimination issues during the game on Friday at Hull. There were discrimination issues on Tuesday. And you've been speaking for a long time. You know, I read your open letter to Donald Trump. That was about 5 or 6 years ago. There's still a lot of work to do as a society. What would you like to see change going forward?
A lot of things. A lot of things. This is a very, very complex situation. We speak about discrimination or race or gender or anything. There are a lot of things that need to change in our society. I'm not talking about football. There's a lot of division. There's a lot of people in the media who make prejudgments on people or how they behave or who they are based on their sexual orientation, what country they come from, what religion they are, what color of skin they have. It sickens me, to be honest. I think it's a wider debate than just football. I think people need to be held a lot more accountable than they are at the moment in terms of social media, in terms of the press, to make sure that these things are stamped out, because everybody should be judged equally based on the content of the character.